The movement has started, the future is near. New league, new teams, a new story starts here. Where a nation began, we're big nose, no bounds. We're hot, we'll be hotter, time to turn up this sound. Where glamour meets grit, where empires are grown. Where great things launch, and the game returns home. 8 hungry cities, want less of the same. We're doing it different, reimagining the game. This is Dallas, Tampa, St. Louis, NYC. It's Seattle, Houston, LA, and DC. It's happening, get ready. Time to scream, time to yell. This is football reborn. This is the XFL.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, dudes and dudettes. This is your one main man, Elijah here. We're going to have Miss Kelly Harley in the house sometime today. We are going to give you guys a couple episodes starting today. So this is episode 1, and this is called Where It Begins. Now that we know who is in charge of the XFL, now it is not none other than Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Danny Garcia. We know that we're possibly not going to get the same athletes that were on each team. That now that some athletes are now getting their opportunity for the XFL, now getting their opportunities with the NFL. But the question is, where is it going to start now? XFL doesn't really hasn't been really posting anything. All we know is that the athletes that used to be with the XFL during the beginning of the 2020 season are now reached out to the NFL and playing with the NFL. So, questions on it is now 2021 is coming. Are we going to see an XFL season? Or they're going to hold off another year to ensure that the pandemic is going to be sitting in the back lines. We all know that during the XFL, what is going to be hard for it to do. I love how the game started. You know, we got to see a more simple and safety concern rule book, and also on the field. You know, we had teams that are playing on there multiple times. But now that we're in this type of pandemic with the COVID, not only that, dealing with the racial justice, trying to, you know, on their stack together, you know, the question comes back, will the XFL play for the 2021 season? Or is it going to take a step back and wait another year to ensure that that this virus going around for the pandemic is put behind? We don't really know. We don't know. So it is kind of hard, and it's kind of hard to not think that what's going to go on. But what I am curious is, can we get that little bit of jazz that we had with the XFL for 2020? You know, I would have really loved to see if they were going to finish the 5 games, the 5 games, and then go into the playoffs. But now we know that there is a new owner, and they're looking for possibly a new commissioner, because right now, as we know, Oliver Luck is not going to be returning to the XFL. Due to, circumstances with the COVID, him and Mr. McMahon lawsuit. But the thing is this ready to get it on the way? Our used viewers want to listen, are you waiting for the XFL to come back so you guys could give them something to root for? My thing is, hell yes. Hell yes. And the reason why I'm saying hell yes right now is because, like I said, XFL was the embodiment of football. They showed and they proved that the love of football, for the safety of their athletes, and more, to give underrated athletes that didn't have an opportunity to play, if they got either way offered in the NFL or more. What I would like to see is what's really going to happen next. We now know that they got the bill of sale, they got the keys to the XFL. Now, how can they put this to work? What can they work to ensure that they don't have the same problems as Mr. McMahon is? One of my questions I asked out of this is this really worth it? Is this everything they do is worth the wait, worth the going through all this? I say hell yeah. The reason why I say hell yeah is because, like I said, we have the highest paid actor, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He played back in the day for the University of Miami and won a title with them, but due to injury, it have cut him costs and not an opportunity with the NFL. But he was able to play for the CFL, which is the Canadian Football League, and he went straight into pro wrestling, and then as we see him now as a top-rated actor. Now is the question, what can we expect for XFL 3.0? That's the question that's going to keep getting repeated, and it's going to keep asking questions as it go. Our good friends from XFL News, XFL News Hub, and the XFL show, we love the way that they contrast. They get all the information. We sit down and we talk about it. The one thing that I am curious for is this the next step? What can Rock and Danny Garcia and Redbird Capital do to prevent a failure like McMahon did? McMahon didn't just fail. He fell twice with his own league, and he abandoned ship. He abandoned ship and not even giving a chance and opportunities for these players to actually play for the love of the game. In there, we seen it all. We seen fans rooting for their teams. We seen fans rooting for their things. What can we expect now that McMahon is no longer in the picture, and we're not going to have this type of monstrosity as McMahon does, because he just up and left without showing a single bit of lack or respect for the love of the fans, and he just abandoned his own company, and sooner or later they released the players in that. But now XFL has a new ownership, and they seem committed to this. They're committed to bring the love for the football to use. Now that's out the place. We hear that CFL has canceled their season and possibly suspended operations due to the pandemic. Now, CFL players who are opting out of the CFL contracts are possibly trying to search somewhere else where they could play. Now, the question is, can XFL utilize these players that are coming out of the CFL and give them an opportunity to play for the XFL? Well, that is true. That is true, and it's a hard thinking fact. You know, what can we expect from this, and so on. If they could do this right, they need to reach out to all their former coaches, athletes, and people that helped supported them, that helped to bring them what's here today. Because if I see the XFL actually was the jam of this. So I'm going to leave you guys with a question. What do you expect out of if the XFL starts 2021 for the next season? And if you do, you can leave it in the comments. In the comments section, we will be prolific. We'll be answering everybody's questions live here on the air. So, I am Elijah Martinez. This is the XFL Live Podcast show. And we will see you guys in another time. And like I said, guys, we're giving you guys 3 episodes of the XFL show live.